Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just climbed some more stairs. A lot of stairs in this holiday at the moment. And then today I'm here in Guernica, and the name might seem familiar to you. Quick history lesson. In 1937, Hitler sent some troops over here, well, a wing of the Luftwaffe, and he bombed this town, completely pretty much wiped it out, because at that point it was the Spanish Civil War from I think 36 to 39, and Hitler took the opportunity to practice some of the blitzkrieg tactics that he would utilize in later years in the Second World War to help his friend General Franco, who was or would be when he won the Civil War, who would become the dictator in Spain. So yeah, in line with that, he sent some bombers over and basically flattened this town in 1937. So here, I think behind me, if I just get up again, there's a memorial tree planted. A lot of memorials around the town. Very sad. It's very sad to see in a lot of ways. There's also a very famous painting that was done in later years by the famous Spanish artist Pablo Picasso, and you can find that in the Prado Museum in Madrid. I went last year and saw it. It's a very impressive painting. I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, it's just what a period when you think back on it. You know, you had Mussolini, you had Hitler, Stalin, and you know, quite often in Britain we don't learn about people like Franco because, I don't know, logically I suppose we'd focus on the Second World War and not the kind of lead up to it, the prelude, which would have included in some ways, not directly, but in some ways, the Spanish Civil War of 36 to 39. And yeah, full of history, this place. Well worth a visit. I'm going to take some photos around the place and see what happens. Alright, tune in again later. See ya. Okay, so I'm here at the assembly tree, or what is actually a descendant of the assembly tree. It's not actually a war memorial as I thought it was originally. It's actually the if I read directly from the leaflet, the Tree of Guernica is the best known symbol of the Basque people. Originally, under its shade, the meetings of the General Assembly were held, to which the representatives from different districts came. So this is kind of a symbol of democracy for the Basque people. And I suppose in some ways they use it to remember the war also, but primarily for that. The old tree, which was planted around 1700, is still here, but it's looking a bit sorry for itself. Let's see if I can get a shot of it. It's actually just through there, in that kind of structure there, and all that's left is kind of the trunk. So that would have seen the bombings of Guernica in 1937, as well as a lot of other things as well. So if I try again, get a better shot of it. As I say, literally it's just a trunk at this stage. I'll try and get round there and get a better shot in a moment. So a really interesting place, a lot of history here about the democracy of the Basque country, and also about the war as well. So okay, I'll get some more shots a bit later on. Okay, so the tree that I showed at the start of the video had absolutely nothing to do with anything, although it is here and it is pretty big. I'm improvised now, I haven't got a guide, I'm doing this as I go, but this one is the old tree, which was planted around 1700 I believe, and it's, yeah, this is the oldest one, and the newer one is just over there. So the tree I showed at the start, pay no attention to it at all, but yeah, this one, how old would that be then? A couple of 300 years old at least. So yeah, seen a lot of history, this one. Alright, we've just done a quick trip over to Bilbao. As you can see now, I'm standing outside the Guggenheim Museum. I've always been kind of curious about this place because, well, two reasons. One, back in the 97-98 football season, the football team here, the Athletic Club de Bilbao, played against my team Aston Villa. Villa won, but I just remember really my lasting impression was the fans they brought over to Villa Park that night, and just how fantastically friendly they were and how just pleasant they were. So I always kind of felt curious about visiting this place. Another reason was because when you think of Spain, you think of Madrid, Barcelona, obviously the south, the Costa del Sol and these places, but Bilbao, even when you speak to people from Spain, it doesn't get a great write-up. And being from the Birmingham area myself, having gone to university in West Yorkshire, so kind of close to Leeds, I kind of appreciate that industrial cities don't always get a fair crack of the whip. They often say, oh, it's an ugly city, like Birmingham's an ugly city, Leeds is an ugly city. And I've always found Birmingham and Leeds to be, a good night out, very pleasant places to visit. So I think I'll probably find the same here. Although it's not the most fashionable city. I think it's just my initial impression. We arrived a few minutes ago, but I don't see anything particularly bad about it. I hear that, similar to those cities in England as well, that there's been a lot of investment since the 1980s. And it's definitely a place that's growing in popularity. So I'll be keen to have a look around. So, anyway, you can see here, that's the Guggenheim. Very similar kind of design to the Bull Ring in Birmingham. I'm sure that I read somewhere that the Bull Ring was inspired by this actually, so there are some connections between the two cities. So we're going to have a walk around, there's some good stuff to see, and grab a bit of lunch as well. So I'll check in a little bit later. Well, having looked around a little bit, I'd say it is a pretty nice city. Obviously it doesn't have the grand magnitude of Madrid or the kind of Roman history of Barcelona, but it's nice. It's actually got a downtown which is in some ways like a smaller version of Barcelona. You've got the little winding streets with cafeterias and things, and I must say I really like the place. It's kind of based off the river. I'm just standing by the river now. Reminds me for some reason of Brisbane. I don't know why, but it's everything's based around the river, as a lot of cities are, and the reputation it has of being ugly is kind of undeserved, I would say, having just looked around some select parts of it. So Bilbao, I gotta say, nice place. Similarly to Leeds, Birmingham, you're not going to say to people you should book your holiday there, go there for your summer holiday, because there isn't really that much to do. But if you're in the area, why not pop in and see it? It's pretty, it's got stuff to do. Not a lot of tourist stuff, but cafeterias, bars, a bit of life. We haven't really picked a good day. Sunday, I mean, everything's pretty much closed, so we're not seeing it at its bustling peak. But I imagine during the week, Friday night, Saturday night, it's actually quite lively. So I'm going to head back now, take a little bit more of a scenic route back to the car. And Bilbao, thumbs up. Alright guys, so here I am again, perched on the bench, listening to the crickets. Just been down there actually to, play with some goats. They were running away at the first sight of me. I was trying to feed them a couple of apples, but they weren't too keen. So, you win some, you lose some, right? But that's it, that's our last day here in the Basque country. And tomorrow we're going to be heading over to Cantabria, another region of Spain. And we'll be sleeping just west of Santander. So that's another region that I've never been to in my life. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to hopefully be as impressive as this has been. I've really enjoyed the Basque country. What a fabulous place. And it's kind of highlighted to me, or reaffirmed the difference. This is a big country. This is huge. Spain, the Iberic Peninsula. If you include Portugal as well, it's massive. So as you can see up here, I could be sitting in Ireland, in parts of England, in Wales, and you wouldn't really know the difference. So a big thing sometimes is when people come over to Spain, they think everywhere's going to be 35 degrees all day and all night, and it's going to be like that. They don't expect any rain. Every Christmas I go down to Barcelona with some friends, and we sit on Rambla Catalunya, and we drink hot chocolate, and we're all wrapped up in our jackets and stuff, and there's always some poor tourist walking around suffering from hypothermia, saying, where's the sun? This is Spain. You've got to remember it's a big place, and there's a lot of different climates, lots of different regions, And this one is a really beautiful one. What can I say? I just pan around a little bit there. If you're from a rural area, you know, I probably wouldn't appeal to you so much because you're going to be used to all this. But if you're from a city, if you're from, you know, you've got a busy life, you want to disconnect and have some quiet, it's beautiful. Like, I live in a city just north of Barcelona, and listening to crickets and listening to a bit of silence. The first night I was kind of spooked. I haven't heard silence for a long time, so it was really nice just to come up here. So looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be in about 3 hours getting over to where we're going, and again, it's just another adventure just to see something new. So I'll be uploading again tomorrow. Alright guys, have a great night. I'm just going to relax here for the last night and soak it all in a little bit more. Have a great night, guys.